There's a shortcut to success that the best and brightest entrepreneurs know and use that makes them far more successful than most. Whether we're talking about Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, or Jeff Bezos, they've all used and continue to use this business success strategy that continues to enable them to achieve more than anybody ever thought possible. The best part, though, is that you can copy and model and emulate this exact same strategy in your business and in your life right now. And when you do, you'll immediately upgrade your results and accomplish your goals easier and faster than ever before. I know this sounds like a bold promise, but whatever you want to achieve, this strategy will help. So let's get to it. If you've ever wondered what makes successful people, well, just so darn successful, well then you've probably come across the standard, almost cliched advice to work harder, work longer, study more, learn new skills. And yes, while all of these are important, what if there was something else? What if there was a way to shortcut all of these and make the process easier, faster, and more automatic? Well, my friend, there is such a thing, and the best and brightest entrepreneurs all know this, and they use it to their full advantage. And that thing, that strategy, or that law, is the law of averages. The law of averages is best quoted by Jim Rohn, who says you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This isn't one of those cheesy motivational quotes either that makes you feel good for a few minutes, but then does nothing to actually help you improve. Nope, this is science. Math more specifically, and the law of averages. And high performers swear by it. Steve Jobs said, be the best you can be and work to surround yourself with people who are even better. Warren Buffett said, one of the best things you can do in life is surround yourself with people who are better than you are. Because if you're around what Buffett calls high quality people, you'll naturally start to act more like them. Jeff Bezos said, surround yourself with the right people. And Bill Gates said, surround yourself with people who challenge you, teach you, and push you to be your best. This is because when you're in the close proximity of other more successful people, well, success rubs off. So does ambition, and so does achieving bigger and better goals. As a scary side note, failure rubs off too. So does pessimism and complaining and laziness and all of those things that you want to avoid like the plague. This is why it's so incredibly important to be careful and selective and strategic about your friends and about your network. The kind of people that you interact with and engage with on a regular basis influences your level of conscientiousness, as well as your attitudes and your beliefs and your behaviors. And unsurprisingly, these will all have a direct result in your level of success. This is why you need to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with others who have achieved or are achieving, or at the very least believe in what you're trying to do. Their attitudes, their behavior, their work ethic, the way they think, pretty much everything will naturally start to roll over onto you. For example, when I first got started in business, my ultimate goal was to make $10,000 a month. I thought that this was the level that I would be able to sort of live the lifestyle that I wanted and consider myself a relative level of success. And so I got to work studying and copying and emulating everyone who was making $10,000 a month in this business so that I could learn from them. I was familiar with the law of averages, and I'd use it in other phases of my life to accomplish other goals. So I knew I could apply it here by simply getting around these kind of people and seeing what they were doing, and more importantly, how they were thinking, and then do the same. Success leaves clues after all. And it worked. But during that time, something funny happened. You see, in my approach to studying those at $10,000 a month, I also came across a number of people making $20,000 a month. So I thought, well, if they can do it, why can't I? So I started learning and copying and emulating what they were doing and how they were thinking and how they were acting. And sure enough, I accomplished that goal. And in the same time, I started being exposed to people doing $30,000 a month, and then $50,000 a month, and then $100,000 a month. And every time I studied and I copied and I learned and I emulated, I did what they were doing and I tried to think like they were thinking. And every time, it worked. And like I mentioned, not only have I used this in my business life, but I've also used it with pretty much any other goal I've ever tried to accomplish. Whether it was public speaking, or learning to fly an airplane, or learning to put together an online course, or pretty much anything. One more example to really drive this point home. I grew up at the base of a ski mountain, and I started skiing when I was 4 years old. I switched over to snowboarding when I was 12, and I've pretty much been doing that for the last 20 plus years, with the exception of a couple years where I went back to skiing because someone told me it was easier to teach my kids to ski rather than snowboard. They were wrong, I went back to snowboarding, it's a long story. Anyway, after more than 30 years of riding or skiing or being up the mountain, well, it's safe to say that I can ride at a pretty expert level. But it's not just the 30 years on the mountain that really helped. Rather, it was the fact that growing up in a mountain town that had easy access to a snowboarding mountain, well, most of my friends snowboarded as well, and a lot of them were really, really good. Like professional level good. And a funny thing happens when you spend most of your days riding with professional snowboarders. They push you, they teach you, and they don't accept anything less than your best. Naturally, I got better. Quickly. I also got a couple concussions. Always wear your helmet. And this is why coaching works, and why mentors work, and why surrounding yourself with others who are at a higher level than you always works. Again, their attitudes, their beliefs, their behaviors, the way that they think has really no other option than to rub off on you and to start to become part of how you act and how you think and how you operate. There's a power and an energy that comes from aligning yourself with other successful people and doing everything in your power to get around them. Really, it's a shortcut that you can't afford to avoid. Also, if one of your goals this year is to grow your business, then another thing you really can't afford to ignore is marketing. And this is why the next thing you're going to want to do is check out the video I have linked up right here on Introduction to Marketing. So make sure to check that out now, and I'll see you in the next episode. Marketing helps people solve their problems by clearly defining and delivering solutions and really explaining the benefits of those solutions so they can get better results.